Hey guys, so today I'm here with my friend Erica again from Yoga Works in Boston, and we shot a prenatal sequence. So if you're looking for something short that you can do if you are pregnant like me, make sure you check out that video. If you're like me though, probably like you too, Erica, and you like a longer sequence, you like to go to classes, today we're gonna share with you guys modifications to take when you go to class so you don't have to worry about whether or not the teacher knows what she's doing. Like, I feel bad saying that, but I mean, you know what you're doing, but not everybody does.
And classes are, especially if they're a busy class, the teacher has so many different people to look at. So hopefully they'd help you a little bit, but they can't, watch you the whole practice. So it's good to know, what things are safe during the class and which ones aren't, and things to do during the class so you're not just standing around like doing nothing.
Yeah, and also I found that even living in Boston, it's really hard to find prenatal yoga classes nearby, conveniently located with times that I can actually go to. So I can't imagine, living in, lesser dense areas of the country, what your options are like. And since I know my entire life is gonna change in 6 weeks, I'm trying to get out of my house and interact with other humans as much as I can.
Yeah.
So doing at-home DVDs aren't really, it's not what I wanna be doing. So today, that's what we're gonna show you. So
cool.
What's the first modification we're gonna go?
Especially if you go to a vinyasa class, the vinyasa, the connecting piece, is going to come up, a lot. So let's go over that. Let's stand up. All right, so the sun salutation or the vinyasa is something you're going to see in every sequence in a vinyasa class for sure. So just a good way to modify, have your blocks, have 2 blocks at the front of the mat, maybe the highest height, and then go ahead, you'll reach up, inhale, and feet stay wider. Make room for the baby, that's something pretty standard. And then folding over your legs, hands on the block. So forward folds might not start to feel good after you start to show. So keeping, still getting the benefit of a forward fold, keeping the length in the spine, keep every fold, shoulders underneath your, shoulders, just creating length. You could be there for the sun salutation, or you could walk your blocks forward if we're gonna hang out in a forward fold. This probably feels really good, right? Sarah, does it feel good?
It feels very good.
Okay, good. I can't say because I've never been pregnant before. Okay, walk your hands back. So moving within the vinyasa, you'll fold forward and then go ahead and move the blocks aside. Step to plank, step, step. So plank is the #1 core strengthener when you're pregnant. This is the thing you should be doing. You shouldn't be doing core work per se, but plank is great. You can hold plank, and then when they lower to chaturanga, you can drop your knees. Take 1 cat-cow, drop your belly, inhale, round the spine, and then press back to downward facing dog. So instead of, taking low push-up to up dog, drop the knees, 1 cat-cow, and it will totally keep you in sync with the rest of the class.
One question I have is, when you do the cat, is there any limitation to how much flexion you should have? Should people be careful about how tilted up their hips? Or
I would think more about opening across the chest.
Okay.
Letting your belly soften is fine, and lifting your hips. I don't think that it's gonna concern you how low you go.
Okay.
So just think about it as pulling your chest forward and then letting the rest follow. So another big thing you'll see in your vinyasa classes is is a lot of different twists. And you really never want to twist you never want to cross the midline with your twist, which makes sense. You don't want to crush your baby. So let's come up into like a lunge.
Come this way, so I'm twisting, or this way.
Doesn't matter.
Oh,
yeah.
This way.
Yeah, so lunging. So, a teacher will probably cue hands to prayer center and then twist, but you don't want to do that. She doesn't want to do that. So she wants to reach right arm forward, left arm back, and stay open with the twist. See how nice and open this is. This is good. She's not crushing it, but she's still getting a benefit of a twist for her spine, which probably feels nice.
And you'll know, in like my first and second trimester, I could totally do the twist still, but then as soon as I got to like late second, it was like, no, you just can't do it.
This is where you really need to tap into your own intuition and listen to it. If people have different opinions, you are the #1 opinion, okay? All right, so twists is one thing. So another thing, the backbending sequence is gonna happen when you go to a vinyasa class. And a lot of my clients have different kind of opinions about that. They don't like to lie down on their back because they get nauseous. So how do you feel when you lie on your back?
To be honest, I felt fine up until my 3rd trimester, and he is a big boy, allegedly, according to my doctors.
Yeah.
And just now I'm starting to get a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm at 30, almost 34 weeks. So, you know, for me, everyone kept saying, you'll know when you can't lie on your back any longer. And it's true, you do, you just know.
Yeah.
So now I take the modifications.
Yes. So camel pose is a good back bend because you'll still get the nice opening through the upper back and the chest, and you won't have to lie down on your back. So coming up to knees. So when the class is cueing like wheel and bridge pose, just come onto your knees underneath your hips, hands on the low back. Kind of put them in like you had pockets back here. And then press your hips forward and then just lift your chest. And don't go crazy with this, just a nice opening until you feel something in the upper back so that there's a string on your chest lifting it up. There's a little lift behind your heart, and you can take this as deep as you want to go. And then, to come back up, just really safely coming back up to a seat and then sitting back down and taking, a little just breather in between back bends. So camel is a good one for sure. Another good thing too, you'll see, standing balance poses, and you never want to compromise your safety. So maybe stand next to a wall if you want to do the balances, but you don't want to risk falling. So put your hand on a wall and stand there if you're not feeling secure. And shavasana is the last thing. And again, this goes with the same kind of idea of like lying on your back. You probably don't want to do that. So a really nice setup is, with blocks, or if you have blankets or bolsters or anything like that, we have like a makeshift.
Our makeshift bolster.
Yeah, we have a makeshift bolster over here. So at the yoga studio, they have a real bolster probably. So
yeah, we don't need that,
but we can show it. So she'll come in the last pose, Shavasana, she'll come on her side instead of her back, putting blocks between her legs, and then lie on her side, and then the bolster can be like her little buddy over here. And this is a really nice place to rest and close your eyes and receive the benefits of Shavasana at the end of your practice without feeling uncomfortable.
I almost fell asleep yesterday doing this pose.
Yeah, it looks comfy.
It is.
So I've been researching a lot of this stuff because I was afraid to go to regular vinyasa classes because I didn't know if I was going to be doing constant twists, constant back bend. So I wasn't going. So I did a lot of research. And one thing that I did find, and you may kind of be aware of this, like any industry, you're gonna find professionals who think one thing and others that think another. And really, it's one of those things where there's no right or wrong answer. And so, you might find one yoga instructor that says that pose is fine, and you might find another one that says don't do that. Really, like what Erica said, if it doesn't feel good, you don't have to do it. One last position, my favorite, we didn't do this one, but I love it. And it's a little bit of a crotch shot for those of you guys at home, but just sitting like this, my hips are so tight, and so just kind of going like this and pushing my hips out and going side to side. It's like my favorite one.
Yeah.
But I don't know where you would put that into a regular vinyasa sequence, which is why we didn't kind of go over it today. But sometimes if people are doing something I can't do, I'll just come and hang out.
Yeah. Stack the blocks.
This is what I do.
Yeah.
I have the blocks there, or just sit right here.
Yeah.
If I'm watching TV or whatever.
And good. That's great.
Yeah. And the only other thing is I had one instructor tell me once you're in your 3rd trimester, if baby is breech or not breech, by doing really deep forward folds, they might flip. I researched this, and a lot of instructors said, no, you're fine to still do down dog and all that stuff. But if you are concerned about that, maybe don't go into the deep fold. We showed you guys a modification here with the blocks so that your torso is not fully inverted. And so take it easy. If you're concerned if your baby's breech, maybe do a little bit of research on your own. But something I didn't even think about.
Definitely. And one more thing too. Use your practice as a way to maintain where you're at, and instead of adding. You don't want to do a new thing for the first time when you're pregnant. Like there's no reason to go into an inversion that you don't know. There's no reason. You can do that after the baby.
And you probably shouldn't be doing like headstand inversions and stuff
no,
like
not
that.
unless you're very, very, very secure, which some people
That's
are.
true.
And that's another thing that's an opinion. But if you're not comfortable in it, if it's something you don't do all the time, definitely don't do it.
And especially, again, we keep saying the last thing is like the breathing sequence that we did in the beginning of our short sequence, our short flow sequence. So important. I keep hearing that, you know, those breathing techniques, being able to really kind of find peace and like calmness in the chaos of labor is what is going to really help you. And knowing your breath, how to use your breath is going to be really important. So even if you only have, you know, 10 minutes a day to practice, check out the short flow that we shot earlier. Link will be down below to really just kind of, you know, feel a little bit less tense, less tight, and more at peace and one with your little one. So Erica, thank you so much. If you guys live in Boston, make sure you check out Erica's classes at Yoga Works Boston, and any links to Erica's social media, we'll put them down in the more info. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.